Listen, this EXP thing is for you. I saw the model and I was just like, man, I can do this. This is something that I can do. This is my opportunity to change my stores forever, to build generational wealth. I can make this thing happen for myself.
What's going on, brother? Got a good one on the call today, guys. Dan Williamson in the house. If you don't know who Dan is, he is closing in on 100 agents here with the Wolfpack organization. He's an incredible leader. He's been a real estate professional here and a real estate agent for 7 years now. He's flipped houses. He's an investor. He's done all sorts of different things in the business. But one thing that I respect about Dan is his leadership abilities and the man he is as an individual. And we're going to talk about what he's done to help a lot of agents come into his organization day one with not a lot of success, maybe even no success, no transactions or anything under the belt, and helping them become capping agents and doing a lot of transactions quickly. So Dan Williamson, what's going on, brother? Thanks for coming on the show today, man. And let's dig in. Let's talk about how you've been able to do so well in the business, both on the production and team building side, but also kind of your process on how you look at new agents coming in the marketplace and kind of how you develop them out. But we'll kind of go through that. But maybe you want to tell your quick story real quick, how you got into real estate, and then we'll go into kind of, the process that you help agents come into the industry and kind of what you do and how agents can actually come work with you and myself, if it makes sense to do so.
Yeah, thanks, Connor. Man, I really appreciate you having me. You've been such an amazing partner and a part of my success and my growth. So always, deep thanks to you. And I'm honored to be here on your podcast today and very excited to kind of tell our story. So, not a lot to tell, really. Starting with, I was in the military. I grew up on a farm. I always had an amazing work ethic. And I always believed that, success leaves clues, right? And action and energy has been a huge part of my life. So my energy is a gift from God. I didn't always understand, well, what a gift energy was, but I would put energy above degrees, above anything, because I just believe that action creates results and success. You want to double your sales, you double your action. And that's, a lot of things based around what we do. So, out of the military, I was my final job was a trainer in the United States military. So I had this background in training and education. I have a degree in adult education. So I have this need to be a part of a group, a team. It's just kind of who I am from the day I was born. And I like to train and coach. I'm a high school basketball coach, been very successful, have more kids playing college basketball than any other high school coach in our state. So, I'm this leadership thing has always been kind of a theme for me. I'm a team guy. I want to climb the mountain with a lot of people. I'm not an individualist. Part of a team, part of a family has always been kind of who I am, right? So, I got into this as a part-time job. I was flat broke. You know what I mean? I was like, struggling teacher and was just looking for a little bit of a side gig and a side hustle. And what I found was that my energy was just mulling people over. I was in a regular brokerage, brick and mortar brokerage with Century 21. And I was just, selling household 30 my first year just on hustle. Never went to a single training because they had them in the mornings and I was a school teacher. So I got a lot of success in the business. And then I started looking around like, maybe I could do this for a career. I was at a private school, wasn't making a ton of money, thankful for what I was making, but this became something that I became passionate about. So, I got really good at selling and, started helping other people in my brokerage, talking to them about how they could sell more. And it always came down to, a step-by-step process, taking action, not talking about the Eagles all day, not eating Chinese food, but when you're in the office working
Yep.
and applying yourself. So, lo and behold, a guy comes along and he says, listen, this EXP thing is for you. And man, I saw it. I saw the model and I was just like, man, I can do this. This is something that I can do. This is my opportunity to change my stores forever, to build generational wealth. I can make this thing happen for myself. So I jumped in, immediately made a ton of more money. I got rid of the 6% franchise fee, went to 80-20. I always hit my cap real fast, 16K cap. And started adding agents right away. And I started to become passionate about helping other people. So I looked at, some of the things people put on EXP online, they feel alone. I feel isolated. It's an online brokerage. I'm missing that connection. And I said, listen, I can do it in a way that nobody could ever say that we weren't hitting home runs with people. So me and my guy that brought me on, Michelangelo Mattia, we sat down and we said, let's do it as best as we can possibly do it. So what we do is we bring every agent in and we build a business plan with each agent. And I'll talk about that in a little bit, but we set them up for success. We call it our daily habits for success. right? So I sit each agent down, I build a business plan with them to their strengths. And that business plan is what helped me, is I was detail oriented. What actions was I taking each week and what did those actions produce? So when we look at their business plan every 3 months, we update it. Okay, you did this action for 12 hours, you got 7 good leads out of it. You did this action for 4 hours, you got nothing out of it. Let's up the action on what's working, and we adjusted those things. So we do that. We provide 4 live dynamic calls a week, 2 from the Wolfpack, two from our regional team there, based around making you changing your mindset, becoming an animal for your success, an animal for the business, an animal for your future. So we attack that mindset. We have a marketing program where we'll post on your social media 4 times a day. We have someone doing that for you. We'll send out a motivational text in the morning reminding you what you're supposed to be doing with your business plan. So we help with branding and marketing. So we'll help you come up with a brand and help you consistently post that message. We have social media training where we teach you how to use social media. But the big thing is we teach you with those daily habits is how to sustain success, how to generate 25 to 35 leads a month without paying for them, right? And we do all this for free. Not judging the way that anybody else does the business, but I didn't want to be a mega team. I didn't want to have people paying me for leads. I didn't want to be charging people anything. I wanted to truly get there. When I brought people in EXP, I wanted to change their lives, right? And the only profit I wanted to get was my revenue share, the 3.5%. So I wanted to give all this value for free. I wanted to give them everything that any agent could possibly ask for free, right? So that's what we set out to do. That's what's been working with us. And, we've got 7 of the top agents in the state of New Jersey right now. I'm in 17 states, me and Michelangelo, between the two of us, we've got about 121. Seeing amazing success. We've got, I think, 10 icons in our downline, something around 10, 8, 9 icons, maybe 11, somewhere in there. Absolutely selling a ton of houses. We got brand new agents, changing people's lives. So many agents coming over from brokerage where they're struggling. I'm going to be out of the business in 6 months, have come over with us, used our training, used our processes, and created wealth for themselves. We use Connor's program with Investor Army. We teach people how to buy, sell, flip, and invest in real estate. We have several wholesalers on our team. So we bring those deals into our own group of investors. So we're trying to be, let's say it worked for me, right? So it changed my life. EXP changed my life. So I'm trying to help use this model to change as many people's lives as possible. On top of the model, being an entrepreneur, 7 forms of income. Teach them how to use the money, the new wealth they get with EXP to learn how to buy, sell, flip, and invest in housing. And Connor's got a great program. We're lucky enough to have him, for free. But that's kind of who we are. That's what we do. I mean, that's what we believe in is, we want to change lives. That's what we set out to do, and that's what we're doing. And it feels good. Not made a lot of friends sometimes in the industry. I've sat down with brokerages and they've said, you're the dumbest businessman in the world. You could be charging for your coaching. You could put them all in 60-40 splits. You could be making 20 times the amount of what you're making. And I just say, well, then I'd be you and I wouldn't be me. I believe in what we're doing. I believe in putting people first. Somebody loved me enough to give me this opportunity. And they wouldn't quit, right? It took me a while to join the experience. It sounded too good to be true. Got this guy, this blonde-haired devil flying in from Texas. You know what I mean? I was like, this sounds too good to be true. You know what I mean? But I saw how it was changing people's lives that I knew that joined. And I just said, if they could do it, I could do it. So, but yeah, that's who we are. That's what I believe in. And, from the bottom of my heart, I just want to change lives. I want to do everything I can to provide time, money, and freedom for anybody that joins EXP with me. I want to be a difference in their life, a light in their life. And I want them to have what I've been given. I never dreamed of this kind of success. I always gave my talent away for free in the military, as a school teacher, to coach. I never really thought about money. Never really thought about it, right? It was like, I'll make enough to survive. It was about serving other people. The intrinsic rewards of life is what I was always after. And then I got cancer. And then after I beat cancer, I realized that I was this close to leaving my family with nothing. And all the good that I did in the world, while wonderful, wasn't going to be enough for my family to be okay. God forbid if the cancer ever come back or if I didn't make it. So that was right around the time when I looked at EXP a lot harder and said, listen, I'm in. I'm going to use this model to build time, money, and freedom. And that's what I've done. I've never traveled like this. I've bought other businesses, other companies. It's just been an amazing whirlwind in almost 3 years to go from living paycheck to paycheck to being financially free in 3 years using EXP's models and systems. I'm eternally grateful for this opportunity.
Let's go into a few things here real quick. Okay, well, thank you, Dan,
Yep.
for that. Now, we had a little glitch there, so we cut that part out. But what I want to go into, Dan, real quick is your energy levels. So this is something that you brought up individually just now, but I've also recognized this with you ever since I met you. So I do remember the first time I flew up there, Michelangelo's like, I got this rock star. He's going to be a beast. And I'm like, well, let's see. Everybody says that. And I remember we met at that little restaurant downtown area. I don't know where it was. And I had like a special like sub sandwich there, meatball sub or something. But we had that lunch, and I just remember being, you
Parmesan.
had this, yeah, yeah, and it was just you had this real high energy and good energy about you, and that really is what it takes to attract talent or to attract anybody into your life and keep them around. And not a lot of people think about their energy levels, their facial mannerisms, their motion patterns, and really just how they treat people in general, especially in a service-based business when we're building relationships. But where do you think your energy levels come from? Because I know this is a big topic in the world where people have low energy, they're tired all the time. Do you think it's from your diet? Is it your belief system, just that you believe, there's something running through you, or do you believe it's in your habits? Where do you think this energy comes from? Because you're always like this. It's not a show. You're always hyped up. And where do you think it comes from? And do you think it's teachable, or is it something that you just think is part of your biology? You just always been a high energy person, maybe around your parents or something like that, how they raised you.
Well, I think it's a combination of different things. I've always had great energy. I always had a good positive attitude. Like some of it is I have an inherent belief that I can do great things. I've always done that. I was one of the top cops in military history, very decorated military police officer, unbelievable career. I went into a private school and helped build that school. Raise funds, built unbelievable athletic programs. I've always looked at challenges and said, watch me do it.
Yeah.
A lot comes from my faith, and I believe that God always seems to bless me. I live a life consistent of high morals and high values, and I always believe that God is on my side. Right, so I always believe like I've got the talent to do this. I've got the blessing from the man above that I can do this, and I've always had this energy that I could do it. A lot comes from work ethic. Growing up on a farm, growing up, not very advantaged. I learned to be thankful for little things, right? Because I didn't have the best of everything. So I learned to be thankful about people, relationships. There was times when the best part of my day would be going fishing in the creek when we were done working on the crops, and those moments with my dad or my brothers or my friends, like that's what I had to look forward to. So I'm a person that celebrates each day. I celebrate people. I love people. I want to help people. I want to be around good people. And, it's a mindset thing with me. I choose to be in a good attitude. And that's what you can control, right? You can't control your surroundings. You can't control some of the things the hand you're dealt in life, but you can control how you respond to it. And I think from a very young age, I chose to have an attitude of gratefulness and an attitude of I'm going to achieve no matter what circumstances that I've dealt. And that, honestly, Connor, has served me well beyond anything under belief. I mean, I've had people say, this is crazy. You're a school teacher. You're never going to be able to build a real estate team, organization. And I'm saying, yeah, okay, well, that's your belief in yourself. Maybe you couldn't do it, but, I'm not afraid. And I've never been afraid to gamble on myself. And listen, I've had some failures. I've opened businesses that didn't succeed. Any entrepreneur has wins and losses, right? But more times than not, things have worked out on my side because it's a gift. This energy is a gift. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's where it comes from. I think it's a work ethic. I think it's an inherent belief that I can do what other people can't do. And I think it's an energy of love and gratitude to live life celebrating whatever wins are possible that day. So yeah, that's where the energy came from. But even on my
Well,
bad days, though, I do make a conscious choice, right? And I love consistency in people. I like next level thinkers. I don't have time to be sad, really. I don't have time to get
I
involved in
like it.
drama. I don't have time,
Yeah.
to be held back. I want to be around next level thinkers, people that share my same energy, And on the days where I don't feel great, I'm sick today. All right. I got the flu, something fierce. Right. But here I am because I enjoy being, I want to see you, Connor. I want to be around people today. Right. So I make the choice, even on my toughest days, to choose my attitude. I choose to be humble. I choose to be thankful. And I choose to push forward because I believe in what I'm doing. I honestly believe when I sit down with every single agent that they're crazy if they're not at EXP Realty with me. It's like my goal. Like I have this gift, right? That I know I can change their life, but I have to be great at explaining it, about connecting with them. I feel like I fail them. If I sit down with somebody about EXP and they don't join, I feel like I just hurt their life because I wasn't good enough to explain to them all the value that this has to add. Nobody gets these opportunities. There's no company like EXP in the world who ever said, I don't care where you came from. I don't care who your mom and dad was. I don't care. I don't care about any of it, right? This is your opportunity to build generational wealth, and I'm going to give it to you. Regular people don't get these opportunities to build generational wealth. Generational, a lot of times the secrets are kind of kept with the people that have it. EXP was like, no, here it is. You want to do this. You want to be great. You want to change your stars. Here is the model that can make it happen. And we're just going to keep a little bit of portion for ourselves. And man, I tell you, it's changed my life. I believe in it with everything in me.
Yeah, I mean, I think what you're saying is super valuable for, especially right now, the time that we're in with this recession and external pressure. A lot of people's mindsets have been broken, and I get it all the time. People want to know how I got to where I got to, and they always want to know, like, skill set wise, what am I doing as far as like what skill sets? Is it, did I optimize YouTube videos or create content, or whatever it is? But ultimately, it's always down to the mindset first. And so until I understood that I can choose my thinking as well, which is something you're going to see a lot with high performance leaders, successful people in sports and business all the time, is they think differently. They think just like what Dan was saying, where he can choose his thoughts on a daily basis, no matter what's going on around him externally. If he's sick, if he's tired, if he's frustrated, if the market's up and down, he decides to make a conscious choice to think the thoughts he has and move forward in the direction that he has for his goals. And also, the faith system that you have is very common. You see this with high level athletes all over in all sports and business. That when they feel God is with them and they wake up and they move through life on that daily basis, and you feel someone's looking over your shoulder, it leads to higher risk taking. It leads to more intentful decision making processes because you believe that the wind is in your sail. And I think that, and I'm not trying to push belief systems on anybody, but I've seen this commonly with a lot of the big leaders at EXP. Similar thought processes, just especially in sports, you see it all over the place. So your belief system is the root of your energy, because if you don't believe you can do something, you're never going to find energy to get up. Why attempt to do so? If you think you're going to chase something and it's not going to work out, your energy levels won't be there. So your thoughts are tied to your energy levels, because your thoughts trigger your emotions, and your emotions trigger your attitude. And the way that people interact with you throughout your life and how you interact with them dictates on how hard you're going to chase goals and how hard you're going to put effort into something. And usually it's the lack of a belief in themselves or what they're doing or who's around them, who are their relationships, that keeps people really down from actually going for their goals, putting the energy into it that it would take to actually get there. So it's interesting that, you kind of think that way. And to be able to have almost 10% of your agents be icon agents is really incredible. You don't see that very often. Usually you're seeing about 1 to 2% of agents at the company become an icon agent. So you guys are doing something right for sure in the environment that you're building over there. And it's not shocking to me to see that many successful agents want to come into an environment and stay around like that, just knowing how you are and then sharing that energy, because it can be infectious. Now, maybe let's go into your mindset from sports. This is something that like I gravitated to when I got into. So I played sports a lot when I grew up. Uh, I played baseball, basketball, football, soccer, lacrosse, all sorts of team sports. Then when I went off to college, basically I had a big void in my life and I didn't know what to do to fill it. So maybe you filled yours with coaching high school basketball. But how did your mindset change when you came across the team building side of things? Did it bring back kind of that competitive day when you're building a team? Because when I was an investor, just flipping houses, it was just me and my own business. Like it's like, great, I buy another rental property or flip another house. But when I came to EXP, it brought something out from within inside of me that had been buried for a long time, which is the competitive nature. Let's run with my brothers. Let's go to war and go at it. And so it created this new mindset for me. It's super exciting. Did you kind of have the same thing happen to you? I've seen this with others, but how much do you think your sports background led you to understanding that you wanted to build a team and grow a real estate team like you have been?
I think it meant a lot. I think it definitely contributes every day. One is I am competitive. You know what I mean? So, I look at my numbers every day. I look at my stock and my revenue share. Like,
Yeah.
I want to be the best. In everything I do, I want to be the best. I look at my sales and, I would hear, oh, the market's going down. Well, here I am, man. I'm on pace to do 10.3 million, as a solo agent.
Nice.
My sales didn't go down at all because my mindset wouldn't allow it. I was going to shift. I'm going to pivot. I'm going to work harder. I'm going to do whatever it takes to keep my sales where it wants to be. But in terms of building a team, one is I'm attracted to people that want to be great, right? So that's good. So when I'm sitting down with an agent, usually it's an agent that kind of just wants the energy, wants to be around someone like me. So there's a natural bond anyway. You know, Building a team, it's I'm kind of a natural coach, right? So it's in my DNA to coach people, to care about people's performance. There's something special about teaching a kid about basketball and seeing them go out and achieve. It's something special about teaching an agent how to survive, right? And a lot of these times, like, and again, I'm very anti buying leads. If you believe in the Bible, and again, anybody's free to believe in anything they want. We don't try to push religion. Certainly, we don't even bring it up really on our team very often. But if you're going to be around me, you're going to realize that there's going to be some conversations about my faith. It's a big part of who I am. But the Bible says, give them fish, you're going to be feeding them forever. Teach them to fish, and then they can feed themselves forever. And that's kind of my whole mindset. Is I'm going to build every person around me to be an animal. I'm going to get them excited about their life. I'm going to be excited to see them every time I see them. I'm going to tell them that they're good enough. I'm going to give them the skill sets, and I'm going to teach them great habits, because great habits lead to success in sports. Great habits lead to success in life. Great habits lead to success in business, right? Success is busy for those people success is found by those people who are busy looking for it, right? It just finds you. And I tell them all the time, get off and do something, right? There's two reasons why realtors struggle in this business. Is one, they don't know what to do. And two, they know what to do and they're not out doing it. It's my job to motivate, push, coach, encourage, love, and get them through those tough times when the world is telling them they can't be great, that they're crazy for thinking they can make $1 million in a year. So that's my job, and sports prepared me well for it. I mean, everybody who knows me as Coach Dan. So coaching realtors is about as easy for me as coaching basketball or anything else. I've got something to give them. That's the truth. I think if you're going to help realtors be successful, you kind of have to have something to give them. I believe in the processes that I was taught and used growing up as a realtor, and I saw instant success, right? And basically it was because I always had a good plan. You go into anything without a plan, you're probably going to fail. And that's one thing that, military taught me. Be in sports, you always have a game plan for the basketball. How are we going to succeed? How are we going to win? Let's follow this plan. For me, it was a strong business plan, right? I believe in the business plan. I sat down, I said, these are the things I'm going to do every day. And what I've done now is I've perfected it to what I like to call my theme days. So I have my list of daily habits that I make the realtors make a promise to me they're going to do these things every day, and we track them to make sure they're doing it. And then we focus on a theme for that day, so we never get bored, and we're always switching it up. So, one theme on that day might be, for sale by owners on this certain day of the week, and I'm not going to get out of my chair until I've got 5 listings calling for sale by owners. And the next might be first time buyers, and so on and so on. But having a focus each day is, let's win the day. Instead of worrying about selling 100 homes, let's focus on doing something today to be productive. Let's get one listing today. Let's get one buyer hot today. Let's, one thing at a time. So I think when you scale it down to winning each day and you get that focus with people, it's easy to see a change in their life, because a lot of times they look at you and they're like, well, I can't be you. Listen, sometimes I look at you, Connor, I'm like, man, I can't get to 3,000, 2,000 agents. How would I ever do that? But if I piece it down, and I am one day, by God, but when I piece it down to day by day, it's a lot easier to focus on good habits. Let's get up today. Let's go to the gym. Let's drink water. Let's spread love today. Let's spread encouragement today. Let's hold the door for people. Let's donate $100 to a charity. Let's do as much good today as we can do, and let's win in real estate. Let's recruit. If it's a day I'm focused on attraction, let's call every card that someone left. Let's call every agent I did a deal with last week. and make them feel important. Connect with them, share this opportunity with them, come from a place of love. And I think, if you're trying to attract agents, genuineness and love is the best place you can come from, right? I
Yep.
believe I've got something to give them for life. I believe I've got an opportunity with EXP, but I also believe in my leadership that I've got something to give them about being the best version of themselves possible. But again, if you just teach them to win each day, then what happens? You get them drinking water, you get them going to the gym, you get them changing their mindset, thinking like a winner, you get them taking people to lunch, moving their business forward, they're building brand advocates, you teach them how to get leads. Next thing you know, they've got all these leads coming in, they're making some money, they're making more with the XP, right? So now that money's paying off credit card debt. Now they've got money to make moves, they can do their first flip. Next thing you know, all you did was teach them how to win each day. But if you win each day, you have the best month you've ever had. Then you have your best year you've ever had. And the next thing you know, you look up in 2.5 years, you're like, EXP is where it's at because it's changed your whole life. But you can't change anything until you change one day. Just get them to win one day. I told my clients all the time, get one sale, one agent. Just get them going. Let them feel the success. Let's help them get that first sale. That's the hardest one, honestly. After they get that first one under contract, then they realize how easy this business is. This business is nothing but hustle. That's really
Yep.
all it is. If there's one thing I can give people, it's just passion. If you wake up tomorrow and you follow a good business plan, every agent can make $100,000 a year. That's the truth. But they can't win more than a day. They get fired up for a day, day and a half. You call them back, they're watching Maury. I do enjoy some Maury during the day, but who doesn't? Well, all right. But anyway, moving forward. So get them to win each day. You know what I mean? Get them to win each day. That's the point. And
No, I
if you
mean,
win each day, winning becomes consistent.
no, I love it.
A little repetitive. Sorry about that.
It's such no, no. I mean, it should be repetitive. It's such an important, profound understanding that many times things that we hear in passing, and we don't really internalize how important it is. But I think a lot of people are so focused on their big goals and their long term goals, and hey, I want to make $1 million, or I want to have a new car, I want to have this and that. They forget that it's the long term goals are hit with the short term daily goals. And I like how you phrase it. Just win the day. Focus on just accomplishing a successful day. And if you focus on that enough, it's just like, you hear analogies like building a house, just focus on laying one brick at a time, lay that brick as perfect as you can, work each day and win that day. And enough bricks add up, enough wins in one day add up to a lot of days that you had wins, and that builds a momentum over time that creates that success. But you got to be patient and be aggressively patient, meaning work hard every day, but wait for it to happen. Now, as you guys hear what he's saying, that he's focusing on speaking belief into his partners, which is something I've done for forever, which is how do I externally motivate someone till they can internally motivate themselves? So a lot of times people beat themselves down with their mindset, and it's our job as partners and leaders to speak belief into them, help them see something within inside of them that they're not seeing at that moment, help them get pointed the right direction towards some skill sets. And as long as we can motivate them externally, once they go out there and we're looking over their shoulder and then they go get a win, they add an agent or they sell a house or they flip a house or something good happens, they get that dopamine release. The belief system is now within inside them because they just did it. Now they're internally motivating themselves. And this is how you see people run off. So sometimes they struggle for a while, don't do a deal. And then all of a sudden you help them do one or two, and then they just run off, and all of a sudden they're doing 10, 20, 30 at a time. So it's our job as leaders to keep the belief system within our partners high enough that they find the belief system within themselves, then they can go run with it. But it's super important to stay in that belief speaking mentality when you run an organization or a business or employees or anything like that, because like you said, they go off and watch Maury too quickly. But what are some of the habits that you picked up in the military or from sports that you think transcend into business that you've seen work well for a lot of these agents? Is it like morning rituals, anything specific that you see work really well, not just for yourself, but for everybody that you work with?
Yeah, I just think, the things in the military that I picked up was discipline. And that's such a huge part of life, Connor, is discipline is the key to all good things in your life. I mean, you
For
think
sure.
when you were building the wolf pack, you know, did you ever miss a Wednesday night call? Immediate XP explained for what, 4 years, 3 years, never a Wednesday night. There was never somebody that wanted to take you out to dinner on a Wednesday night. There was never a birthday you had to miss. Of course there was, right? But discipline is the key to all things successful in your life. So if you're trying to change someone's belief system in themselves, and that's really what it is, that's really what success comes down to, is to change their belief system, they have to have good habits. They have to see themselves in a routine. Say that you have a terrible free throw shooter. You got there, you shoot 1,000 free throws every day. The belief system starts to change because there's consistent effort put in to see an end result. And then they see, oh, I'm starting to hit free throws better. Then they get in the game and they hit more free throws than they ever had. Life is
Sure.
about consistency, consistent effort. That's why I like consistent people. I don't like people who are like, one way one day the next. To me, that's you're never going to find success like that. Consistent effort, and that changes your belief system. When doubt creeps in, it's a lot easier to say, I can recruit an EXP agent when I've recruited some of the best agents in the world. My first big fish I got changed everything for me. I got the top husband and wife team in our region to join EXP Realty. And after I was like, man, if they'll join EXP with me, I'm going after everyone. And I was able to go out and land, some more successful people than me, because it gave me the courage and the confidence because I was consistent in learning the model, being able to speak the model, and believing in what we do. So consistency is the key to everything, and that's what the military really did teach me. I was consistent. You know, iron my uniform, polish my boots, go to PT every morning, and put other people first. Because listen, man, part of the reason I'm so passionate about this is because I love people. That's the truth. The military teaches you about team, about unity, about family. You're not trying to be great just for yourself. And sure, I want to, I like to be, it's nice to feel recognized. It's nice when people say, oh, you're such a good realtor, you do a good job. But it's a billion times nicer when you feel like you've changed someone's lives. I've
Yeah.
changed people's lives with EXP. I've taken people, things that I probably can't say, right? But people who were destitute in their financial situation. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm like, give me 6 months. Follow my teachings for 6 months. Come to our trainings for 6 months. Are now unbelievably wealthy. We've created a couple millionaires, uh, worth net value millionaires, on our real estate team. One is somebody I'm related to, one of the best human beings that I've ever known. Has got so many rentals now, has found so much success on top of their day job with EXP, is going to hit Icon. This thing has changed the game for them, vacations, and they deserved it, right? So I don't know. This to me is an obsession now. I believe in what I'm doing, and man, I just love it. But yeah, there's military, that's consistency, those habits, and that belief system is everything, right? Because I even have to catch myself, right? I'm a next level guy. But what happens is we let people attack our belief system. I'm too old. I'm not smart enough. Oh, the market is going to change. All these things. You can't let people change your belief system. The way you change the belief system is the consistent success. The consistency leads to belief that what you're doing is working. But even with me, I went to this Tony Robbins thing. I love me some Tony Robbins, right? Always looking for Grant Cardone. Always looking for somebody to inspire me every day. But I went to this Tony Robbins thing. And he said, what's stopping you from being, to getting to the top, 500 agents in EXP, your downline being in the top 100, right? And I put some stuff down in my belief system. And then at the end, I looked at that and he was like, well, that's what's holding you back. And then when I looked at the excuses that even a next level thinker like me put down, I'm too old, technology. I've got people that will help me with technology. Oh, I can't tell the story to thousands of people like some of them. Why can't I? There's a YouTube training course provided by the Wolfpack sent to me every week, right? Why can't I tell my story, right? So then I just decided, like, listen, it's over. I'm just going to be a dog now. I'm just going after it. I'm going to get 1,000 agents. I believe in what I'm doing. I believe I can train, coach, develop them. I'm in the right organization with the Wolfpack. I believe in the added values of the Wolfpack. I believe in what we're doing with our organization. And I just made a mental change. I'm going to stop blocking myself, and I'm gonna do what I want to do, and I want to have 1,000 agents, and I want to change 1,000 lives, and that's what I'm gonna do, right? So you have to constantly be affirming of yourself. You have to eliminate self-talk, negative self-talk. You got to get out of people that tell you that you can't, right? Because people will tell you that you can't, that you won't, right? Because they can't and they won't. You got to get those people out of your mind. This thing with EXP is right in front of you. The greatest opportunity of your life to build generational wealth is right in front of your eyes with EXP. You join EXP with us, you've got all the tools, you've got all the support, you've got somebody helping you with your branding, your marketing. You're going to sell more real estate, but you also have an opportunity to build generational wealth with a revenue share model, with the stock, with Connor's, training on houses, how to buy, invest in flipping houses. Is anybody ever going to put this much love and energy into your business, right? This much love and energy into helping you become the best version of yourself possible, right? Who are you going to find that's going to that's going to put their whole life into helping you get to where you want to be. You're not going to find it. You're not going to find it very many places in any business, much less real estate, which is very dog eat dog world, right? If you succeed, that means the guy in your cubicle next to you, he's not succeeding. Does he really want to sell real estate? He probably doesn't, right? Truth be told, maybe they do, but very few people really do. So, yeah, man, amped up for it, thankful for it, and just want to change lives, man. We're a phone call away. Wolfpack, Dan Williamson, we're a phone call away.
Yep. I think what you said there is important to understand. A lot of people go down the process of, personal education, self-development, and they start to have the awareness that they need to and can control their thinking patterns. But then, as they start, like you're saying, even yourself, who's very well aware of this and very good at controlling your thoughts, still you allow those limiting beliefs to creep in. And, you mentioned, how did I get to like 3,000? There was a moment where when I got to around 100, actually I had a flat line. I got to another flat line around 300, and my mind's looking linearly, saying it took me X amount of effort to get to this size here. I have this big goal here. How many years is it going to take? And your brain starts playing with the math, and it starts trying to figure out how it can't happen. And so I had to step back and say, okay, even though we're slowed down here, this is still possible. And so you have to literally push past the limiting beliefs, because like I almost started adopting this belief system that, maybe we're not growing fast enough, or maybe if we don't speed up, we're not going to hit this goal. And then you don't want to look at short-term results. You just want to look at the activity goals that you're putting in, your consistency doing it, and hold that belief system that it can happen. So once you shut that belief system off, that's when things start going the wrong direction. But I kept saying, I was writing my goals down, focusing on my goals, reminding myself that even though in the short run it doesn't look like it's going to happen, which is usually how success is in anything, never looks like it's going to happen, or it's going to take too much time or too much risk or too much money or whatever it is, and that I just need to push through it. And then we hit this big explosion. We brought on a couple of right agents, and all of a sudden we started growing faster again. And then you can start to see that projection change. So if you guys are at a stall out moment with your production business or with any of your goals, you can't look at that short-term kind of like mindset that you're in, which is it's not working, or, it's not going fast enough, because that's what's going to keep you from actually getting there. You just have to stay at that end goal, your biggest goal, and believe it can happen, and the constant belief it can happen. And that's the only way it can actually happen in time, is if you keep believing it will. And so I can tell you, I've seen some of the most incredible things happen where you've seen people look like they were never going to, make it as a production agent, and all of a sudden now they're doing like 10, 15 million a year. And see people that looked like they never could build a team, and now they've got, a full-on team and a big residual income. So keep that belief system strong, guys, right now, especially when the external world's telling you there's a recession, interest rates, and the market's bad, and all this type of stuff. So you just heard Dan say he's still crushing it, doing over 10 million this year. But what are some of the other things that you go into with like the group? Like as far as like, mindset's super powerful, but it's mindset before skill sets. What are you seeing kind of work out there right now as the market's tough? You're seeing agents cold calling expires, like what do you think should somebody be doing right now in their business if they're kind of lost or stuck? Should they be trying to focus on listings, knowing with all the buyer agency stuff coming in? Like what would you tell some of these agents right now if they're kind of lost and need to reset and kind of get focused again?
Yeah, that's great. So if I bring an agent in and, we brought one in, I had sold 3 homes in the last year, a couple months back. And I said, listen, what is it that ever gave you success? What makes you feel good, strong, and powerful about the business, right? What are the things that you feel the most confident in? And let's focus on those. And now, she's turned around. She sold 10 in the last 6 months and really just bought a brand new house for herself. Very proud of her success. You know, she just had to stop. She was doing too much. There was so much clutter in her brain about how to go get leads. I was like, you just got to take action. I mean, that's the biggest thing, is you got to take a massive action. So we'll meet with each agent and we'll say, maybe it's niches make riches. Maybe what feels good and powerful to you is working with first-time buyers. Then by God, let's go all in on being the best first-time buyer agent that you can possibly be. Let's partner with local lenders to send out first-time buyer information. If you spend $2,000 a month on rent, do you realize it's $24,000 a year you just threw away? Let's hit apartment complexes with flyers. Let's go to apartment complexes and hand out cards. The thing you cannot do is quit, right? So a lot of times, sometimes it's you just need a niche. One young man, I was like, listen, you're 21 years old. That can be difficult. It can be difficult to get people at 50 to look at you and say, I'm going to trust this 21-year kid. I was like, but who does trust you? People your age. So we called him the Condo King. We started framing it as he's the Condo King of South Jersey. And he went around to all these different condos, became an expert, started shooting videos of all the amenities that these condos offered. And next thing you know, people his age started really hitting him up about condos. And that led to more business. Well, my dad's selling, my dad's buying. And he eventually grew his business. Now he's a little bit older now. He's getting out of the condos, but this was a kid who they told him he could never make it. He was at one of the big brick and mortar brokerages. They're like, he was on a team. They were paying him to mop floors in the open house or take pictures on his phone. They weren't really letting him be a realtor, really. So he's a great success story as well. So, a lot of it can be that. We always say if it feels heavy, put it down. If there's something about your business that just makes you feel terrible, that just takes the energy out of you, you got to find what makes you feel good. So sometimes, Connor, it's finding a niche. We say niches make riches. Again, I'm very good at calling FISBOs. I can help anybody. I have a great plan for calling FISBOs, right? I can help anybody get FISBOs, but FISBOs are less now in today's market than they were before. A lot of times, though, it's the confidence, it's the mindset change, and it's following a business plan. What are you doing for success? And I always tell them, like, go back to the basics, right? Go back to the absolute basics. Take a massive action for yourself, right? Print out, EXP has all these free marketing materials. Print out 1,000 door hangers and go hang them in the neighborhoods that you want to generate business. Follow it up with a post on that community's Facebook page, right? Telling people how much you love. Win your own neighborhood. How about that? People that already like you, trust you, know you. Focus on your own neighborhood. $28, I bought my whole neighborhood ice cream, 2 weeks ago, the entire neighborhood, on Dan, EXP Realty. Sure, I was there handing out my card. Anything, $28. That's not a huge expense to build some community, right? I send things out all the time. I'm not just protecting your home value, I'm protecting mine. So sometimes I tell them, like, let's start with winning your own neighborhood where people already know you. But really, a lot of it is just simple. Follow your daily habits. Get out there and do it. Business cards. People are so afraid to hand out business cards. And I know it's a digital age, but I will say this. If you handed out 10 cards a day, that's 50 a week. That's 200 a month. Statistically proven, if you're the most unlikable human being on earth, right, you will get 3 solid leads from 200 cards. If you just have a message, I hand people my card everywhere I go. Hey, I'm Dan Williamson. Listen, I'm in real estate. Let me tell you, I'm really good at my job. Let me protect you. There's a lot of pitfalls in this business. I'll get you the absolute most. If you're looking to buy or sell, let me protect you, right? It's the biggest sale of your life. Don't trust anybody, right? Hire me. I'm a bulldog. I'll take good care of you. I hand the card and I walk off. I can't tell you how much residual business I got. But again, I'm taking action. If you do that on top of hitting your sphere, you hit your social media, you're posting every day, you're adding people on social media, you're growing your influence. Those are 3 things you can do right there. I hit my sphere once a month. A's first day of the month, B's second day of the month, C's 3 days of the month. So everybody in my life gets one message from me a month. That way I'm not a jerk. I'm not my buddy from Northwestern Mutual. Every time he calls me, it goes back to me buying life insurance from him. He calls me like 3 times a week. I don't even pick up anymore. I don't want to be that guy, but in my message, I'll have Connor. I'll have a little note on Connor. When it's C day, I message Connor, hey, seeing the OU game, Connor went to OU, big OU guy. How about those Sooners, man? I'm looking forward to the bowl game. How's your family thinking of you, man? Love you. Let me know if I can ever help you in real estate. I'm always here. Once a month, you're just staying front of mind, sharing every win on social media. You're staying front of mind that way. So you do these things, you just keep winning your sphere. That's a huge thing too. But a lot of times we want to be secret agents. You got to be a fanatic. I mean, that's the truth. You want to change your business. You got to get excited about your business. You got to believe that, that you have something to give people. There's a great book called Fanatical Prospecting that I really love because it basically sums me up in a nutshell. Every time I read it, I get fired up. But you got to be a fanatic for your business, for value, for adding value to people's lives. You want to be my friend? I'm going to be a realtor for the rest of your life. I can promise you. You invite me to your kid's 5-year-old birthday party, I'm coming and I'm bringing a PlayStation, right? That kid is going to love me, right? Going to be calling me Uncle Dan. You know what I mean? Like, I love people, but a lot of it is just taking action. But for most realtors who are struggling, they're just not taking enough action. I don't care what you do. I mean, here's the success. And I know I'm a real estate coach and I'm supposed to act like I'm a genius and I'm pretty smart, right? But here's the trick. It doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't matter what you do. Just take any action. Any action. Drive through your town. Stop and talk to every business and hand out a card. Stop. One kid, he wanted to win this East Hampton. I said, let's drive through East Hampton for an hour. We drove to the stand. We handed out 2 or 3 cards to business owner. I saw a for sale by owner. We called the for sale by owner. He got that listing. Then we sent out postcards in that development. Got another list. This was 1 hour drive. Then a person from the business called and said, listen, we're looking to expand. We need a bigger space. Do you do commercial? Sure, we do. 1 hour drive through a town with this kid got him going just like that. He was ready to quit real estate. I was like, 1 hour drive. So that really is it, is like, you got to know what works for you. And that comes from tracking your actions. But the truth is this, I wake up in the morning and I just make it happen. I look at my daily plan and I say, what am I doing today? And I just go out and I attack life with love and a feeling that I have a bigger purpose. And that's really what success comes down to. I mean, honestly, go get it. Go get it.
What do you think? You think in this, like when they're passing out cards or making cold calls, they just don't think it's going to work, or they think it's not going to work for them? What do you think keeps people from just like taking action? I mean, obviously there's fear, like of rejection, things like that. But like, why do you think people just don't go do it? Like it's just so easy. Like for people that do it, that wake up and move a forward moving energy every day. You've been around a lot of agents. What is it that you think keeps them from just not going and handing their business card out? Is it they don't believe it will work, or it's a waste of time, or they're thinking they're harassing someone, or like just your opinion on like the mindset or psychology behind it? What do you think's going on in their head?
They can't see themselves hitting the level of success that they're capable of. It scares them. It's easy to say, nobody's buying today. This market is down. It's easy to say, I tried real estate, but it didn't work. I'm going to go take a regular 9 to 5 and just take my paycheck. In fact, in a lot of ways, our country, we're built like that. The public school system, you go, you sit in the chair, you listen to the teacher, you do your time and you get out, right? The world wants you to be average, right? The world wants to push down any person's dreams, always. There's so much negativity, right? It's hard to run your own business, right? And the truth is 87% of agents fail, right? That's the truth. 87% of agents don't make it, right? But you can be in that top 10% with just constant effort and belief in yourself. But to me, it always comes back to mindset. When I work with realtors that struggle, it's because, one, they don't feel good about themselves. They're not confident. They don't like the way they look. They don't like the way they look on camera. They don't like the way they look in their clothes. Right? They don't feel like, I had one say, well, why would anybody use me when there's all these great realtors in this town? Well, listen, I mean, come on. If you can't sell yourself to yourself, right? We got to start with that core belief. So again, it comes back to the discipline, doing the right things consistently, an inherent belief in yourself. And you got to have that positive mind frame. You got to have people believe in you. You got to have brand advocates. You got to have people you got to surround yourself with next level thinkers, because we're all guilty of it. I sat down with one of the best agents in the world. I was getting ready to fly out. And I remember getting on a plane. I thought, is this crazy? I'm flying all the way halfway across the country to meet an agent I didn't meet. Why in the world would they join EXP with me from New Jersey? They don't know me. And then I just grabbed myself. I was like, what are you doing? Why wouldn't they? You're amazing. You've got so much to give. You've got so much value. Why wouldn't they join EXP with you? I flew in, closed them. Now they have a team of 8 agents. And, but even the best need constant affirmation and constant reaffirming of who they are and what they believe in. And that's why I surround myself with great people. Michelangelo Mattia, the guy who brought me to EXP, changed my life. That dude believes in me, encourages me. He's a constant support system. He's an amazing realtor and leader and getting people to partner with. He had so much value in people's lives in his own right. But I think you got to have people like that are constantly building you up even through the tough days. And I like to do the same to him. And I think that's a value too. Because I'll say this, I think part of our success and the reason why agents stay with us most of the time forever is I want to be there for people. You know what I mean? So I grew up tough. We talked about that. And I didn't have people that were there for the big moments of my life. Right. But what I decided was I wanted to be the kind of friend that was going to be there for people no matter what and be there for their big moments, because I was looking for that connection for people. And that's part of the reason why the military appealed to me and sports appealed to me. So I think that's important is I go out of my way to be there. We had one agent called on the phone. Her voice cracked. Her mom was in the hospital with COVID, right? The next day, I was on a flight. The next day. And this agent only been with us 3 or 4 months, but her voice cracked. I knew she needed us. The next day, I flew in to see her. Not because I wanted her to sell more houses, because innately, I love people and I want to be a light in their life. I want to use EXP to provide them time, money, and freedom, but people are important. People are valuable. And when you feel valuable, you have a better chance of having success. So,
That's right.
again, I think what we surround, the constant love that we surround our organization with, I think helps. And I think you do a good job that as well, Connor. You know, when we see you, you're always excited to see us. When I log into Calls 101, it makes me feel good. When you light up, I light up, right? Not that I need a lot of help, but, you know, it's
Yep.
important to be there for people, because at the center of people's self-esteem is how much they feel loved, right? So if all I do for people is give them all these values for free because I care, if all I do is tell them I love them, then that's going to help them find some more success out there, because that's going to raise their self-esteem. So there's not really key answers, quick answers like what builds a successful person, but I think what I try to do is I try to build their confidence, build their skill set, raise their energy, and believe them that God didn't create them to be average or small,
Yeah.
that they can do anything. Who am I? Who am I? I'm a basketball coach. I was a school teacher 3 years ago. Real estate was my part-time gig, and now I'm providing a life for my family that I never dreamed of. And with 80 some agents, right? And I'm not Donald Trump, but we've taken more vacations since I joined XP than we ever did combined. I own companies now. I use that wealth. I reinvested into things that are going to make me more money, and I became possessed with passive income. And that's the other thing EXP does, is it just changes your mindset. I start looking at everything. How do I get a piece of that? You know, well, let me see. Well, that business looks like it's promising. How do I buy into that? My energy might be able to help them. Then I started working with startup companies. I'll help you raise this much money for a little bit of percentage in your startup company. Little Shark Tank stuff. I'm good at that. I'm
Yep.
good with energy. So this thing's changed my life. I wanted to change your life. I come from a place of genuineness. I believe in this. I do. I think if you're looking for a change in your career, if you're sitting around and you're not progressing in your career, here's the truth. I hate to be so blunt, but listen, let's go for it. You know what I mean? Let's just tell the truth. Here's the truth, right? You close your eyes, you say to yourself, where do you want your life to be in 3 to 5 years? I wanted time, money, and freedom to be able to travel and be with my family. EXP delivered it. If Century 21 or any company that I was with, if they could have delivered it, they would have already done it. If you're out there selling real estate, you ask yourself this. You're selling 20, 30 homes a year. I sell 30 homes a year. EXP changed my life. 30 homes a year times 2,000 extra per deal was 60 grand just for selling the same amount of homes. Forget the rest of the perks, right? But just ask yourself this. You've been in your company 8, 9, 10 years. What are they really doing to move your business forward? Because I changed my whole life in 3 years for selling the same 30 houses, right? So you ask yourself, where do I want to get to in life? And then say, is the company I'm at, is the opportunity where I'm at, is that going to get me to time, money, and freedom, or whatever it is? Maybe your goal is to be completely retired. If your company could do these things for you, they would already do them. Most real estate companies are not set up for you to be rich. They're set up for you to sell just enough, so you have to sell real estate till you're 100 years old, right? That's the truth, right? And I don't want to be passive aggressive. I have a lot of respect for people in all companies. I've got great friends in all companies. But by God, in my heart, I believe with everything in me, they're out of their mind for not being at EXP. Because what they're losing a month is nuts. I met down with an agent the other day at 100% shop. She told me, she said, 80 could never match 100. There's no math that you could show me where 100 could match 80. And I said, okay, well, why don't you have lunch with me? And if I can show you, you'll join EXP with me. Absolutely. Sat down, times her $750 flat fee, times the 100 homes she sold, showed her how much she lost. The end of the lunch, I was sending her a link to join EXP. And this is one of the most successful agents in the world, right? From one lunch. So, I think it fits. I think it's a great opportunity. I believe in it. And if you want the life that you deserve, I'm so thankful, man. If there's anything anybody takes away from this call, take that away. I'm so thankful. I don't think I'm better than anybody. I think I'm an average guy with an above average attitude that fell into the greatest company ever created. I love people. I want to share this with everyone. if you want, sometimes I wake up and I'm like, I don't even deserve this life. You know, not too long ago, I thought cancer was going to take me. I looked up, I was going to leave my kids with nothing. And now my kids can have whatever they want. My wife gets whatever she wants. She don't ever have to work, right? With all the investments and things we got. I'm humbled. I'm humbled that EXP, that Glenn created this company to give a regular guy like me an opportunity to have this life. I mean, I fought for my country. I got shot at, mortared. You know, I gave my services away as a basketball coach, gave my whole life to kids, working 100 hours a week because I altruistic, but nothing ever paid me like this.
Yeah.
Nothing ever paid me like this. So, yeah. So if that's what you take away, you know, if you want to leave here, think Dan Williamson's a pretty good realtor. Dan Williamson's a pretty good realtor. You want to say he's a pretty good real estate coach? Hey, he's all right. You know, I'll get you going. I'll double your sales. I mean, I've done it with hundreds of agents. We can help. I'll train anybody. I don't care. I'll give you a couple free sessions no matter what company you're in. But the thing I would love for you to remember is Dan Williamson is a guy who thanks God every day that he joined EXP. Humbled by this opportunity for a regular guy to be able to provide his life with this, to provide my family with this opportunity. And here's the best part, Connor. That little sucker Danny Jr., he gets it all, baby. Like when I'm done, I can will this all down to him, which is really cool. So now I've changed his mindset. So now he looks at dad making moves. He looks at dad talking with businesses. He looks at dad investing in businesses. He looks at dad buying rentals. I'm changing his expectations. You know, no Williamson that ever was like, you know, we're going to buy investment properties. My son's driving by apartment buildings, like, why don't we buy that one, Dad? I'm like, well, let's take a look at the numbers. You know what I mean? So that's an incredible gift too. It's like I'm changing the way my kids are going to expect, you know, life to be. I'm opening their eyes to success. Like they're questioning things that kids don't question. They're in school every day. He's like, listen, do I need to know this? Like, what has this got to do with the Burr method? He's like, I want to learn how to buy more of these rentals and get more of these rentals going. I don't want to dissect a frog. He's like, well, that ain't going to make me no money. And I'm like, I could. And I was like, if you were the best in the world at dissecting frogs. But anyway, thankful. That's the theme. And thankful for you, brother. Thankful for everything you do. I mean, you're a great, great dude. And I'm so proud that I joined with you. I'm not knocking anybody else. But you delivered on the promises that you made, that you were going to be connected and care about me and care about me and Michelangelo's growth. And, that's not true with people that join some of these big organizations. So proud of you, man, proud of the Wolfpack, and honored to be a small part of it. But I'm getting after it. I looked at that belief system. I can't believe I had some excuses in there. Too old. Didn't know enough about technology. I can learn, or I can hire somebody. So I'm going to turn it up now like I never have before. And I want to share my message with the world, that I think what we're doing and the fact we're giving it away for free. I want nothing from you. I don't even want you to buy me Starbucks. I want to change your life, because that in return, if I change your life, I change my life just a little tiny bit. 3.5% is plenty, right? Or 4, depending on the tier you're on. But that's a whole nother call. That's a Media XP Explain call.
Well, I'm pumped up now. I'm ready to get going and go run through a wall or something. So you got me pumped up. But how do they reach you, Dan? If they want to work with me and Dan and join Michelangelo, who I'm going to get on here as well, what's the best way to reach you and have a conversation privately to look more behind the scenes with what you guys are doing? Because I know a lot of people are looking for an infectious energy, and obviously you have it. And I think more people need to have the mindset you do right now, especially in the marketplace that we're in. How do they get in touch with you? Do you want to redirect them to your Instagram, your Facebook? How do they get in touch with you?
You can always reach me, my cell, 609-802-8800. You can always reach me on my email, danielwilliamson605@yahoo.com. You can always book a one-on-one with me through our website, thecolonyexp.com, and I'll share that link with you that we can post on this. You go on the website, you can book a one-on-one coaching session with me. If you want to talk with me personally, I'll help anybody sell more real estate. And I'll just be honest, because I'm a straight shooter. I think if you do one training with me, I'm going to make you such a better realtor. You're going to start questioning why you're not at EXP with me. You said, this guy's willing to train me for free. His life coaching is so good. What he did worked right away. So I'm willing to give coaching sessions out with the idea that you're going to think it's so great that you're going to realize what a wonderful thing EXP is. Um, and I offer that out to, I've met with an entire brokerage. I'm at the point where I'm starting to get entire brokerages, me come in and just do daily habits and how to double your sales with entire brokerages. And I charge a little bit for that because I got to fly out and I've got some expenses for that. But, I think this is great for everybody. But yeah, you can always go to our website, book a one-on-one with me. You could go to our YouTube page. You can see the quality of the trainings that we offer. I've got it all down there. And at some point, we're going to be selling a course, Coach Analytics, here in the next couple months. That'll be out there. You can buy and learn the very best of who I am. There is a magic to me, and it's a blessing from God. But the magical fairy dust for me has been hard work, discipline, and having a good plan. But I'm willing to share everything that's worked with me, um, and help others be successful for sure.
I love it, man. Thank you for coming on here. What we're going to do, guys, we'll get this out here as soon as we can to you. And make sure to reach out, Dan, if you want to hop on Zoom with us and figure out if it makes sense to join the Wolfpack with Dan in the group. Just let us know. Other than that, Dan, thanks for pumping me up today and reminding me of a few things I need to be thinking of as well. And just grateful to have you in my life as a friend and partner. And I can't wait to see what happens over the next coming years, especially as this market starts to turn back on, hopefully next year. And we all know when they drop rates, it's going to explode. So it's going to be an exciting time. But thank you for coming on here, and I will see you guys on the next one.